MI6 agent James Bond is sent to Siberia to locate the body of 003 and recover a Soviet microchip. Q analyzes the microchip, establishing it to be a copy of one designed to withstand an electromagnetic pulse. Made by government contractor Zorin Industries. Bond visits Ascot Racecourse to observe the company's president, Max Zorin. Sir Godfrey Tibbett, a racehorse trainer and MI6 agent, believes Zorin's horses, which win consistently, are drugged, although tests proved negative. Through Tibbett, Bond meets with French private detective Achille Aubergine, who informs Bond that Zorin is holding a horse sale later in the month. During their dinner at the Eiffel Tower, Aubergine is killed by Zorin's bodyguard and lover May Day, who subsequently escapes. Bond and Tibbett travel to Zorin's estate for the horse sale. Bond is puzzled by a woman who rebuffs him. He discovers Zorin has written her a check for $5 million. That night, Bond and Tibbett infiltrate Zorin's laboratory, where he is implanting adrenaline-releasing devices in his horses. Zorin identifies Bond as an agent, has Mayday kill Tibbett, and attempts to have Bond killed. General Gogol of the KGB confronts Zorin for trying to kill Bond without permission, revealing that Zorin was initially trained and financed by the KGB, but has now gone rogue. Later, Zorin unveils to a group of investors his plan to destroy Silicon Valley, which will give him and the potential investors a monopoly over microchip manufacture. Bond travels to San Francisco and meets with CIA agent Chuck Lee, who says that Zorin is the product of medical experimentation with steroids performed by Dr. Karl Mortner, a Nazi scientist who is now Zorin's veterinarian and racehorse breeding consultant. Bond then investigates a nearby oil rig owned by Zorin, and while there finds KGB agent Pola Ivanova recording conversations and her partner, Klotov, placing explosives on the rig. Klotov is caught and killed by Zorin's guards, but Ivanova and Bond escape. Later Ivanova takes the recording but finds that Bond had switched tapes with one of Japanese music. Bond tracks down state geologist Stacy Sutton, the woman Zorin attempted to pay off, and discovers that Zorin is trying to buy her family's oil business. The two travel to San Francisco City Hall to check Zorin's submitted plans. Mayday kills Lee at Stacy's house unbeknownst to Bond and Stacy. Having been alerted to their presence, Zorin kills Stacy's boss, Mr. Howe, after he fires Stacy for meddling in Zorin's scheme, traps Bond and Stacy in an elevator between floors, and sets fire to the building to both frame them for the murder and kill them. After a dramatic escape from the burning elevator shafts to the roof, Bond carries Stacy down a fire truck's ladder, only for Bond to be arrested for the murders of Lee and Howe. Bond and Stacy flee from the police in a fire truck to Zorin's mine. Infiltrating Zorin's mine, Bond and Stacy discover his plot to detonate explosives beneath the lakes along the Hayward and San Andreas faults, which would cause both faults to move simultaneously, causing a massive earthquake, which would then flood and submerge Silicon Valley. A larger bomb is also in the mine to destroy a geological lock that prevents the two faults from moving simultaneously. Once in place, Zorin and his security chief Scarpine flood the mine and kill the workers. Among them Zorin's geologist Bob Conley, Jenny Flex and Pan Ho, cohorts of Mayday. Stacy escapes while Bond fights Mayday. After Zorin abandons her, she helps Bond remove the larger bomb, putting the device onto a hand car and riding it out of the mine, where it explodes and kills her, escaping in his airship with Scarpine and Mortner. Zorin abducts Stacy while Bond grabs hold of the airship's mooring rope. Zorin tries to knock him off, but Bond moors the airship to the framework of the Golden Gate Bridge. Stacy attacks Zorin to save Bond. And in the fracas, Mortner and Scarpine are temporarily knocked out. Stacy flees and joins Bond out on the bridge. But Zorin follows them out with an axe. The ensuing fight between Zorin and Bond culminates with Zorin falling to his death in the water. Below, Mortner attempts to kill Bond with dynamite. But Bond cuts the airship free, causing Mortner to drop the dynamite in the cabin, whereupon it detonates, blowing up the airship and killing himself and Scarpine. Later, General Gogol awards Bond the Order of Lenin for foiling Zorin's scheme. Whilst Bond romances Stacy at her home,